Hi guys, it's Cindy. Whoa, hello. How is everyone? This is the first time I am actually streaming live from Zoom to Facebook. Had a little snafu with my live streaming direct to Facebook. So here I am. Hello, everyone. Cindy here with Create Your Own Luck and Love, where I help women help men make sense. Haha. Yes. Anyway, so today we are talking about why men and a new spin on why men pull away and why they actually need to pull away. Um, Especially after they've been closer to you. So I love the topic around why men pull away. It is actually the top searched dating topic out there on the internet. So women get confused about this all the time. So I'm going to break it down for you and help you understand the need for men to pull away and how it can actually bring him closer to you and fall in love too. So after, oftentimes after when a man is getting to know a woman just like you, he's excited. He's messaging you all the time. You might be talking a lot. I mean, there's all of those things happening. And as women, we connect with a man by being with him or communicating with him. That is just how we're wired. Well, can't talk. How we're wired and what brings us closer to a man. Well, men, on the other hand, yes, of course, they build a certain amount of connection by being with you, and he 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 actually develops more closeness to you by being away from you. So, for example, let's just say you you spend a really amazing weekend with the guy that you're dating. Maybe you guys take a little trip out of town and you come back, you've had a great time, you had lots of amazing conversations, shared some really great experiences together, and he drops you off, and the next day you don't hear from him. And as a woman, that can actually make us feel panicked and like, oh no, especially if you have some anxious attachment tendencies. Your heart can feel vulnerable, exposed, and a man will, it's not uncommon for him to do that. So why is that? So he does that, and the key is not to panic, and also not to reach out. You want to give him space because it actually brings him closer to you. Because when he is with you for that time period, what happens is he will his testosterone starts to drop a bit. There's all kinds of studies around men and actually being in relationships. The longer term relation, the longer a man is in a relationship, the more his testosterone drops. There's a it was it was a study that was done around men in the military when they would go out on leave as opposed to coming back. Really interesting study, and I'll see if I can find it and drop it in there. But at any rate, when a man is away from you, so when he's away from you, his testosterone starts to build up again, and he starts to miss you. And a man grows closer and falls in love with a woman through missing her. And he, a lot of times in our culture, we've made pulling away bad. And don't get me wrong, if a man is hot and cold on you all the time, or he's pulling away for a while and then coming back really hot, or playing games or doing things like that, then no, we don't want that. But there's a normal amount of pulling away. And this isn't testing you or anything like that. It's really simply him gathering his feelings, his thoughts, in order to come in and be close to you again. Because a man, unlike women, men feel a lot of feelings just like we do, but we feel feelings all the time. We feel feelings often. We can go from, crying at a Hallmark commercial to, laughing hysterically with a girlfriend, right? It's not uncommon, but for men, they feel intense feelings in shorter periods of time. That's why you see men crying when their championship team won. They feel a lot of emotion in in that period of time. So, and oftentimes so here's what you don't want to do. If you've spent some time with a man and everything's been going well and he pulls back some, you want to think about these things, and you can take some time to analyze this if, while he's gone. And in addition, do some other things for yourself. And I'll get to that in a second. So number one, you want to think about, well, what is the frequency of our connection? And you want to put it in context. Am I in a committed relationship with this guy? Am I just getting to know him? And we've spent some really great time together. So you want to put it in context, right? And you want to manage your expectation. If you're just dating, you expect that he's dating other people too. And you get to make sure that your life, and you're pouring into your love cup in your life, and focusing on your vision. Even if you have a really great connection with him, you want to continue to be dating other people. So look at the context of the relationship. Are you in a committed relationship? Are you just dating? Are you, somewhere in between? So do you normally hear from him every single day? If the answer is yes, and you didn't hear from him that day, you want to assume the best. You want to hold him high because you want to stay in a high vibrational place. And if your tendency is to go to the negative and go to, what's wrong with me? What happened? Da, 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 you want to turn that around and, really look at, okay, is this something, is this a pattern that goes on in my dating life, my love life? And I would also suggest really getting support around that, so that from a coach, you know, I would definitely say a coach, a professional that doesn't have any emotional connection to it. So you don't want to make him wrong. You want to stay in a high vibe place and do you. And it can be hard as a woman after we felt so close to a man, especially over a really great weekend. All we want to do is be with him. And he needs a bit of time to recharge. And men need this too when they're in relationships. You've heard of man caves, right? Well, there's a reason for that. Men need just a little bit of time to recharge. But the more a woman goes toward him, the more he's going to pull back and take the time that he needs. So it's like, how can I describe it in a way that, as a woman we can relate to? It's like taking taking a you day, going to the spa for the day, or focusing on yourself. And the more full your life is, right? Maybe you've got a full career, you've got things going on. So you may not notice as much, but as women, we tend to, because if we've gotten close to a man, we tend to feel vulnerable and a bit exposed. So your your my invitation to you is to give him that space, and when he comes back, typically he's busy when he comes back the next day, or whatever. You want to be open and receptive, like, hey, good to hear from you. um you know I felt so happy to see your text this morning, right? You don't make it a thing, because then that also makes him want to be closer to you. It's, the simple, it's a simple concept, but there's so much conversation about, why men pull away and what we make it mean. And especially when you're in that point in your dating where it feels a little fuzzy, things seem to be going well. Maybe you're not committed, or maybe you are. And there's this emotional distance happening. And that's the opportunity for you to fill your own love cup, which means that and that includes doing healthy activities like working out, um, connecting with friends, going on a walk. I mean, doing things that really support you in your higher vibrational state. And men sense that. They also sense if you're sitting around in an anxious energy as to, you know, why, he's always had this pattern of reaching out every day. Why is he not? Is he punishing me? Is he making me wrong for something? And if you have that mindset, and you've been in other relationships that you've that maybe there was some game playing going on, you want to turn that around. You want to focus on what it is you want. Get really clear. What is it that I want? And focus in on that. Keep your focus there and think about, well, what's my experience been with him? Well, he's been great. He's always shown up. He's takes a lot of time to send me text messages. We have great conversations. Yes. So here is the final thoughts. If he pulls back, give him that space to do so, and be welcoming when he comes back, because that space actually brings him closer to you. And men will oftentimes take that space to fall in love with a woman. I'll tell you this. I know this woman that when she was dating her guy, her now husband, there was a point in time where they, were in a committed relationship, and she didn't hear from him for a few days. It was, she felt like it was almost a week. And she sensed that he was taking some space. And, he called her up and invited her to dinner, and they went out for dinner, and they, were talking, and she was like, gosh, I miss chatting with you every day. And he was like, yeah, I had to really take some time to think about, can I really provide for you the life and happiness that you deserve? And can I really show up and be that man for you? And, the answer was yes. And shortly thereafter, he proposed. But oftentimes, as women, we can disrupt that space by moving towards them. But if you give him that space, he will inevitably fall in love or become closer. But, like I said again, we're not talking about someone that, you know, is has a habit of being really hot and then turning really cold. There's a natural rhythm to men needing space, and it's usually after a lot of time spent together, or when the relationship's going to go to another level, or even if you're in a relationship, you're living together, men will pull back a little bit emotionally, and you may not notice it as much, but they might be, um, spending a bit more time with, their buddies, or on their hobbies, or doing those things. It's giving them that space to recharge, to become closer to you. I hope this helps. I would love to hear your comments below, questions, comments. Let me know. I can't wait to hear from you. And if you're on YouTube, thank you for being here. If you like my video, give it a like and subscribe so you can get notifications on all my videos. All right, sending you so much love. Have an amazing one. Mwah. Bye.